Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 259. It is Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to make a quick pickup at a casino. Just like a free game thing where you can get some free play. I'm going to do that. Probably won't be much, be like $40, $50. But I'm not going to be too far from that place today anyway. So I'm going to go take care of that, and then I'm going to be meeting with a family for dinner, so that'll be good. Been updating my spreadsheet and paying close attention to it. We're looking good. We're inching toward our goal. I just hope we get there and surpass it so I can make my goal a little bit higher for next year. Definitely, next year is going to be different than this year. We're going to be doing different things, making money in different ways. But we'll see what happens with that. So as of last night, I was $7,960 away from my goal for the year. So we're closing in on it. Only 17 days to go. I can tell you that over Christmas, I'm going to be traveling with the family, and I will be near some casinos. So I should get some good sessions in. There is at least one casino in that area that didn't appreciate me last time, but no big deal. We'll try not to hit them too hard and keep a good name there. So, yeah, right now I'm going to head over to that casino and pick that little bit of free play up, and I'll be back and let you know how things go. All right, guys, I am back. I am late leaving here. I am supposed to meet my family for dinner, and low on fuel, and leaving here about 40 minutes later than expected. So I walk in and I check out a machine, sit down, play that through, and I lose about $100 on that one. Then I go look around, can't really find anything, get my free play, which is a very small amount of free play. Look around some more, and I'm having a hard time finding any playable games. There's a lot of people, and just not a good way to make money right now. So I'm sitting around, or not sitting, we're walking around looking. Finally, I find a machine I want to play. I sit down, I look at it, and it's a high denomination, like $12 a spin. I sit down and I start playing that, and it's like just sucking the $100 bills in, and 100, 200, 300, 500, 700, 1100, 1200, 1500. I got in for $1,500. I was involved in this machine. It really more than that, because I was actually ahead $100 and something when I sat down. So really like $1,600 and something in the machine. I was down to my last $54 when it finally hit, and I gotta tell you, what a relief it is when it does what it's supposed to do and it pays you like it's supposed to pay you, because I was getting a little worried there for a minute, and it ended up paying out $4,167 on that. And definitely needed that. And I ended up ahead for the session $2,730. So I was just saying I need $7,900 or so. There you go. That takes me down to about $5,200 needed, and that's very, very manageable. But here's the problem: I sit down, or I'm waiting. You know, they come over in like 30 seconds. They come over, get my ID and everything, and take off. And she's gone like 40 minutes. Finally, this guy comes by. I'd seen him before. He's a slot attendant, big guy, big beard and stuff. And I stop him and I say, "Hey, look, man, I've been waiting like over 30 minutes for this." And he's like, "Well, you know, there's a lot of slot attendants, but there's only one person working the computer back there. So I know for a fact 3 people hit the jackpot on their machine before I hit mine, like 3 back to back, because, you know, some of those annoying casinos have the thing that plays every time someone hits a jackpot." So 3 people hit it before me. So I expected it to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I didn't expect it to take like 40 minutes. So he said, I'll go back and check for you. He goes back. He ends up coming out instead of the girl that took my information, and he ends up paying me out, and all was good. But while I was sitting there, I was talking to the people around me and stuff, and they were telling me stories about their experiences and things that happened. And for one, I know this casino was bought by a bigger casino, and before that, they used to give great comps on stuff. Like, you'd have a bad day, you'd lose a couple $1,000s, you'd go back there, and they'd say, what do you want? You want to go to the gift shop? You want a couple $100s for that? You want a couple $100 in free play? You want some free food? Whatever you want, they would give it to you. And as soon as they got bought by this bigger company, everything went to heck. So so she was, the girl next to me was telling me that one time she was in the high limit area, and she was playing. The guy nearby hit a jackpot for about $10,000, and they take his ID. It takes forever. They come back. They pay the wrong guy $10,000, and the guy takes the money and walks out. I don't think the casino can do anything. What can the casino do? They willingly gave him the money. The only thing they could do is maybe ban the guy if he comes back. Other than that, I think legally, what can they do? It's not like he gave them chips and they gave him the wrong amount. Someone walked up to him and handed him money. I guess they would have given him a W-2. That's probably a problem there. Now you got tax information for somebody. I'm sure there's some legalities there, but can you imagine paying $10,000 to the wrong person? And then can you imagine the right person saying, hey, it's been forever, where's my money? And the sinking feeling that slot attendant probably had when they figured out they paid the wrong guy. That's crazy. But yeah, overall ended up being a good session. I was looking around for about 30 minutes, and then I was waiting around for about 40 minutes plus to get paid out, and it all worked out. So plus $2,730 there, and heading out to get some dinner. I got to stop and get some fuel, and then I'll meet the family. I already sent them a text message that I was delayed, and we'll go from there. So right now it's Saturday evening, and I'm just going to say for sure tomorrow we'll be going somewhere. So stay tuned. I'll add it to this episode unless I add something else to it that makes it too long, and go from there. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. It is Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m., and I am just heading out. It is a very rainy day. Lots of rain and a little bit of flooding already, and just leaving home, trying to give myself a little extra time because it's going to be a longer trip with the bad weather. So just heading out. So got some good news. A little bit ago, one of our neighbors just had their 6th baby, and they homeschool. A very nice family, good family, and all their kids were born at home. So think about that. That is crazy. It is awesome. I love it. So hoping that the baby will be named after me. Joe Kickass is a great name. Oh, you know what? I wanted to tell you about. I was going to save it for later, but I'll tell you about it now. Speaking of my name, I ordered some more clothes, and all my clothes are tailor-made, and they gave me the option of having my name on the inside of the waistband for my pants that I ordered. So of course I did that. So I mean, it's kind of weird. When would anyone ever need that? But so when it gets here, I will take a picture. I'm hoping in the next week or so that order will get here, and I'll take a picture of that. Kind of funny. So today woke up a little bit early and took care of some AP stuff, sent out some orders that I had for some things I've been buying and selling, and making a little extra scratch, and that was all good. And today I finished painting the kitchen. A little bit of touch-up left to do, and there's an area, like the really high up area, that I couldn't reach, that I will do later on. When the weather's a little better, I'll have to bring in the 24-foot ladder so I can reach it. So all is good. And yesterday, boy, what a day, huh? I went in there for that stupid free play, which gets me in trouble lots of times, going all the way to the casino for a little bit of free play. And then, you don't want to go in there, get the free play, get stuck on a play and lose money. But it all worked out yesterday. And it dropped the amount of money I need to make in the next 3 weeks or so. What's today, the 15th? The next 2 weeks or so, to only like 5,300. So if I have a good week this week, which starts today, I could have the year wrapped up, and then all I have to do is hold and not fall back below it, and we reach the goal for the year, which I'm very excited about. If I do reach the goal, we'll definitely have a higher one for next year. And boy, next year is going to be crazy, because all the new things that I've learned and all the new things that I'm doing right now, I'm excited about next year as well. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I am heading out, and I'll be back to update you after my first stop. All right, guys, I'm back. A little frustrated. Still need to run $110,000 through this casino before the end of the year, and I'm finding nothing. I ran like $400 through. It's like no opportunity right now. Everybody is in there. People I haven't seen in months are in there, and just no opportunity. So I saw and talked to a few people who do this, and they're friendly enough and everything, but I'm like, they're coming from one end of the casino. I'm like, you clean everything out over there? Yeah, there's nothing here. So-and-so is here, so-and-so is here, and this other guy is here. So you're not gonna find anything back there. So there were 3 machines I wasn't able to check that I really wanted to check, but someone was on them the whole time. Came around 5 times, and every time the same people were still there. There was one machine that was empty, but I was playing the one next to it, and as I was finishing my play, I pushed cash out, and someone sat down, and they were there for a while. So ended my session ahead $25. I was down $20 almost the whole time. Like the first machine I sat at, I lost 10. The one next to it, I lost 10, and then nothing until the very end, where I won a little bit and ended the session ahead $25. So it's a little frustrating. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. I may actually have to take an out-of-town trip after Christmas to a place that might give me an opportunity to run some money through. I just got to weigh it out with, is the time worth it, and is the cost of getting there worth it. But still holding out for hope. We're going to be going out of town for Christmas, and I believe they have a casino where we're going, but it's like the nastiest, dirtiest casino in the area. And also the day that we're leaving for our trip is the day that the casino I just left has a multiplier. Thinking maybe if I show up around midnight. I need to verify though, when does it start? Does it start at 6 a.m.? If it starts at 6 a.m., that's no good for me. It needs to start at midnight, or I can't, it's not worth it. But if it starts at midnight and I can play midnight to 6 a.m. and then head home and then do the long drive for Christmas, I'll be very tired, but I might be able to get a decent number of points in, and it'll be a lot easier to have to get my points through with that multiplier. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. Heading on to the next casino. And I wanted to mention too that I know I was supposed to work on the wheel hubs, but the person who was supposed to work on them wasn't feeling well and doesn't have the time right now. So he said, can you leave it with me during the week sometime? And I really can't unless I rent a car. So we'll wait and see when he's available. It's going to take him a lot of time to get it done. So we'll see when he's available. And if he's available when I cannot leave the car, I may rent a car and let him have it for a day or two. So make more sense anyway. Renting a car is kind of cheap right now, I think. I haven't checked, but anyway, moving on to the next casino, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. Man, okay, so I go into this place, and all the Asians are cleaned out. I'm like, what is going on? There's not one Asian person in here? What is going on? Did they kick them all out? I really don't know. I did find a few plays, but there's a lot of white guys and girls now here also, and they were eating up a lot of the plays. I played a couple machines, and I was ahead like $20, and then played this longer term machine at a couple bucks a spin, and ended up losing some money on that. So I was down about $30, and then played another one, won about $10 on it, so I'm down like 20. And as I was playing that one, a friend of mine pulled up, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "I was just thinking about you." I'm like, I didn't know if I'd ever see you again, because I haven't seen you in a while. And he updated me on what was going on in life and with his son and everything, and it was nice to catch up with him. So it was that was all good. And he says maybe we can get together in January, and that would be nice. So maybe we'll do that. But as he and I were talking, walked around a little bit and found one other play and played that one through, and ended my session ahead only $47. So $47, but whatever. We're moving on to another casino, and be good to get to this one kind of early in the evening. Right now, temperature is beautiful outside. It's 50 degrees. It's a nice day. So just did a lot of walking in there and not a lot of playing. So it's very unfortunate, but you can only play what's available. So anyway, we're moving on, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So I go into this place, and I look at slots for a minute first. Don't see anything. Slide on over to the better blackjack tables. They have like 4 different blackjack games here, and if you play the wrong ones, you're giving all kinds of money away. So I did go to the right area to play the right game, and there's a table open, and someone had played about a deck and a half, and they were done, and I guess they had lost, because the pit boss came over when I bought in and asked if they left with anything, and the dealer said no. So I said, yeah, get rid of that shoe if it's a bad shoe. I said, I think sometimes I say deck on purpose to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. So I sit down there and buy in for $500, start playing, lose the first hand, lose the second hand, lose the third hand, lose the fourth hand, push the fifth hand, lose the sixth hand, lose the seventh hand, lose the eighth hand. It was at least 9 or 10 hands before I won a hand. I had a couple pushes in there, but there were a lot of losing hands in a row, and the count dropped right away. So now we're dealing with like a true -2. I got nowhere else to go. This is the only table that's got good rules at this place right now. So I'm playing, and this guy comes over, and I don't know exactly where he's from, but I think he's Eastern European, and he comes over and sits down behind me. Now, normally, they don't allow that kind of thing, but for some reason, they didn't say anything to this guy. I guess he had lost a bunch of money today, too, he was telling me, but he likes to talk. He's a lonely guy, and I'll talk to him on my way out, but when it was time to play, it was time to play. We're not messing around here. So started playing, and it was just bad cards, so I'm losing, and then finally things start to turn around a little bit, and I was there for a little while. The dealer's a nice dealer, talked to her before, and so after a while, I'm starting to recover, and then we keep on going, and I get to the end of a shoe, and I really shouldn't have played the last hand of that shoe. It was a negative count, and it was the end of the shoe, and I had gone from being down to being ahead, and normally when I do that, I just leave. It keeps the sessions shorter, it keeps less heat, so anyway, so I was down as much as, I think, 350. This is a lower limit table. And I was up as much as 400 or so, and ended up leaving ahead $350. But for the spreadsheet, we're going to put it down as 347.50 instead of 350. I'll explain that later on. So plus 350, and looked at slots again and found nothing, and then saw a guy playing a machine that was in range, and he obviously knew what he was doing just by the way that he was acting and the way he was spinning and stuff. And I walked slowly behind this guy, and he's like freaking out looking for where I am, like I'm gonna hit him on the head and take his wallet or something. People are nuts, man. So anyway, I didn't find any slot plays, and that was it. I talked to that guy for a minute, and he's telling me how bad he did. I said, man, you should do what I do. If you have a big loss, don't come back the next day. He's like, I know, but you know, I feel bad for people, especially this guy. He's an older guy. He's lonely. I think he comes to the casino mainly just to talk to people, and then he loses a bunch of money. But what are you gonna do? This is a very weird turn here. But right now, I'm moving on to another casino, and this area that I'm in is a really odd area. It's very mountainous and big inclines down and up, and inclines and declines. But wow, it's pretty dangerous. It's dark. The roads are wet. Luckily, it stopped raining. But anyway, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna continue on to another casino, and I'll be back to update you soon. Now I'm just driving here. I bet this area is beautiful in the daytime. I am never here in the daytime, but I'm in this like valley area with some water down below. You can see the lights of this little town shining on the water, and there's like all these hills all around it, like layers of hills with hills behind it, with hills behind it, and but it's just really nice in the daytime. But I don't think I'll ever be here in the daytime because the way I work my schedule, this area is just not good in the daytime. So continuing on here, and I'm about, how far away? About another 11 minutes away from my next spot. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I go into this casino and I can't find a single play. Finally, I walk up on one play, and I looked at it and I said, hello. It was a nice one. It was about $4 a spin, and took about 14 spins, and I ended up walking away plus 102, and looked through the rest of the place and found nothing else. So still picked up a little bit of money, plus 102 there. I think I'm up about what, 750 already tonight. And I'm moving on to another casino, and we'll see what happens there. This next one, I got to keep my bets low. It's not like a lot of the ones I do during the week where I can bet high and I just get buried in a sea of other people betting much bigger than me. This place doesn't get a lot of action, so we're going to move on to that casino and hopefully have some positive variance there, and I'll be back to update you. You know, I'm only about 20 minutes away from another casino, and I forgot to record what happened at the last casino, so let's go through it here. Very, very interesting. I walk in, I look at slots first, I play blackjack, I go back to slots. So I look at slots when I walked in, play the first slot, it goes miserably. I'm ahead like $5. I move on to the second slot, I lose $200 on that one. I go to the third slot, I lose another $200 on that one or so. And that's all the slots I could find before I went to play blackjack. After blackjack, I came back, I looked, I couldn't find anything else. So I was done with slots, and the slot session ended minus 403. minus $403. Blackjack, I walk in, I sit down, and start playing. Start losing, continue to lose, and it was just a very miserable time. This casino happens to be in the same family as the casino that I was backed off from 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the guy says, "You look familiar. You have a card here, don't you?" And I said, "No," even though I do. And then he types some stuff in the computer, like my description, and then he goes around to the other side and sits down and starts looking at something, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. And I thought maybe he had my picture because he recognized me, but he didn't, and I was able to kind of, schmooze my way around and just talk like I always do, and didn't end up having any issue with them. But the problem was I was losing everything I was doing, and then things finally leveled off after a while, and things started creeping up slowly. The funny thing is they have multiple side bets at this place, and I was hitting side bets left and right. This side bet, that side bet, this and this and this, and of course I'm not betting the side bets at all because none of these are countable. Actually, I did an episode about one of them. It is countable, but it would have to be like a true 20-something count for it to make sense. So obviously I'm not doing that. So anyway, I finally leave at the end of a shoe ahead exactly $400. So plus 400 on the blackjack, minus 403 on the slots. And then since it's in the family of casinos that I have a card with, I did go get some free food, about $80 worth of food. So if you lose $3 and get $80 in food, I would consider that at least a push. So that's how that ended. So plus 400 on the blackjack, minus 403 on the slots, and we were moving on to another casino that was like an hour ago, and right now I am 10 miles away from that next casino, and we'll see what happens there. So very interesting. I've known that dealer for about 20 years, and she recognizes me. She's a lot older. She's probably in her late 70s, but she's a good dealer, a nice person, and we agree on a lot of stuff. So we were talking about a lot of stuff, current events and things going on, and how we feel about stuff. So that was interesting. And then they were shorthanded on dealers, even though pretty much the other dealers were doing nothing, which makes it a little bit tougher to fly under the radar when there's only 2 tables active and everyone else is just standing around. But they had pit bosses running the brakes for the dealers. And the funny thing is, the bartender is a pit boss as well, which is very weird. But that's what happens in the smaller towns, smaller casino type places. There's another one within an hour of that casino where if you color up and cash out $200, you need ID. So obviously we're not playing blackjack there. So all good right now. We are heading on to this next casino, and I'll be back to update you real soon. Alright guys, that stunk. Man, I went to this back area looking for plays. I was ahead like $13. I go to this back area, I see 3 plays lined up. So I'm like, they're all in a corner. There's only like 6 machines in that corner. I sit at the first machine with the plans to hit the other ones. There's 3 of them that have a play on them. And I'm going to go down the line and play them all. I sit at the first one, it takes like 30 seconds. In the meantime, 2 guys come in. One sits next to me at the second one, the other one sits at the other one. I'm like, what the heck just happened? I was so frustrated. And these are guys that are everywhere I go, so I know they're going to take the plays. So I'm frustrated. I'm going to the front. I'm getting ready to leave. I see the other guy, this other guy, say, we got all these Asians aren't hanging around now. Now we got all these young white guys. So I'm walking to the front, getting ready to leave, and I see the guy I got into the argument with at the one casino where he had the seat turned around, but no money in the machine, no card in the machine, nothing. And I got into an argument with him. I see him. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. So I don't know if he saw me or not. He was frustrated about something walking by me, but I don't know if he noticed me or not. But that did not make me happy. Now the problem is, the next casino I'm going to is only about 40 minutes away from this casino, and the question is, are they going there next and I'm beating them there, or did they just come from there and there's going to be no plays there? And I'm worried it's probably that they just came from there. So, or there's two different sets of people. One could have been going there and one coming from there. So I have a feeling this next spot is not going to be great. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the ones that I know best and leave the easy ones alone, because the easy ones are always taken by people, right? So I'm going to do my best here to run through this place in about 15 minutes to the highlights, and then I'll come back through and do them in detail, just in case they're heading in this direction next. So that's just a very frustrating situation, but hey, so far so good. We can't complain. So far this episode, yesterday and today, we're up like $3,600 or more, whatever it is, $3,600. So we're doing good. Just got to keep our cool and play the machines right, and we'll make money. So heading off to the next casino, and then we'll have to stop for gas, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So were those guys here? I don't know. Maybe some of them were here. I found two plays in the whole place. It's a decent sized place. And the first one was like an easy win. I ended up losing $20 on it. And the other one was an easy win also. I ended up making 43 on that one. So I ended my session ahead $23, but it's pretty dead in there. Not much opportunity in there, and seemed to be more slot techs than there were customers in there tonight. So I don't know what the deal is. It was one of the quieter places tonight. I don't know, man. I got work tomorrow. Not loving it. Got one more week of work, and then I have a week off. And during that week off, we're going to be traveling. We're going to be seeing family, and hopefully making some money. So I would love to button up my year this week and have my goal for the year by the end of this week, and then go on my trip and just have all of it be gravy and just be happy about it. Anyway, it's just a number anyway. It's all psychology anyway. All right, let's do our segments. What did you eat today, MW? I'm trying to think back here. This morning, I didn't really have much this morning, and I really didn't have much for lunch. Actually, I'm trying to think if I had any lunch today, and I think the answer is no, because I was painting, I was working, I was organizing, I was paying bills, I was doing spreadsheets, and then I left home. I took a couple of leave because I felt like the pain was just going to be hitting me later on. And I'm kind of sore right now, but not terribly. And then I had like a steak sandwich thing at one of the casinos I went to tonight. That was pretty good. Had some onion rings with that, so that was all right. I would give that probably a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. And then, what did you tip today, MW? And you'll remember early on I said I'd won like $350 at a casino, but we were only going to count it as $247.50. And there was a reason for that. I go to this casino at least once a week. Well, let's just say 3 to 4 times a month. And this waitress is always there when I'm there. And she always comes up, and she's always nice. And I always tell her I don't want anything. And she always walks away happily and is still nice. and I gave her a $2.50 tip. I had a $2.50 chip left over. I was going to give it to the dealer or to her, so I ended up giving it to her. And the dealer was very impressed that I was so nice, such a nice person that I am. And the dealer didn't even need a tip because I was such a nice person already. And the dealer was going on break. The dealer goes on break, and I immediately colored up and left. So all that worked out. So I tipped $2.50 today. Really, I can't say it was a very exciting day, but we made okay money. If every day was as good as today, we'd definitely get our goal every year, but it just wasn't a very exciting time. So that's what's happening now. It is still, it's after midnight, it's still 45 degrees outside, and I'm starting my journey home, and tomorrow will be a long one. Tuesday will be a long one. Wednesday will be incredibly long. Thursday and Friday long, and then I'll have a day off Saturday and Sunday. I may do it overnight. Monday I'll be traveling for Christmas, so it's a lot of craziness coming up. And a friend of mine sent me a message earlier and said that he was off work until January, and if I wanted to go on a trip, just let him know. And I said, yes, let's do it. So I need to start thinking about what that trip is going to look like. And hopefully we can go to a place where we can get some multipliers so I can get the points that I need for that one casino. So that's what's going on today. And just going to sit back and relax, enjoy the ride home. 50 degrees outside still. I think it just said 45 degrees a second ago. 50 degrees right now. And I'm heading home. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.